The apostles spoke among themselves what would be the most appropriate conduct before the Almighty. Then the Master gently shared a story. A certain king, lord of vast domains, wishing to uplift the spirit of his children so he could grant them a worthy inheritance, led them to a wide, green, and prosperous valley within his great empire, and entrusted each one with a specific estate they were to preserve and enrich through unceasing work. The Father desired from them the crown of understanding, love, and wisdom, qualities that could only be attained through education and service. And since they were to use perishable materials, he gave them a set amount of time for the constructions that would later be essential for the greater work of elevation. He did this because the valley was subject to change, and a time would come when a devastating storm would strike the region, and only those who had built a stronghold would be safe. As soon as the sovereign withdrew, the young sons, followed by the many tribes accompanying them, rested for a long time, dazzled by the beauty of the sunlit plains. When they finally rose to begin their tasks, they entered into lengthy debates about laws of solidarity, justice, and defense, each demanding special consideration from the others. Almost no one cared to apply the regulations established by the central government. The princes and their followers, for the most part, concerned with personal comfort, went out of their way to find subtle means of evading, without obvious scandal, the principles they had sworn to obey and uphold. And in trying to deceive their magnanimous father through flattery, instead of honoring him with honest work, they immersed themselves in complex disputes about the sovereign's personal matters. They spent years endlessly debating his appearance. Some insisted that his face radiated the whiteness of a lily, while others insisted on proclaiming a bronze complexion, like that of many captives from Sidon. Many claimed he had the body of a giant, while others demanded that he be an angel crowned with stars. As verbal quarrels multiplied, time kept slipping away. Swarms of destructive insects, reproducing endlessly, invaded the land and destroyed much of its precious resources. Debris from nearby mountains formed dense mounds of waste across those regions, while the careless princes, completely distracted from their essential duties, fought constantly in petty squabbles. There was, however, one wise son who took note of the father's decrees and obeyed them. He never forgot the king's counsel, and, whenever possible, shared them with his closest companions. He used many of the hours that the laws allowed for rest to build a solid shelter that would ensure his peace in the future, sowing beauty and joy throughout the estate his father had loaned him. And so, when the storm finally came, fierce and renewing, the sensible prince who had loved the monarch and served him with devotion and care, spreading his liberating teachings through pure fraternity and fulfilling his just and kind will through daily work with the soul's constructive afflictions and the sweat of his brow, naturally reached the sanctuary of peace and safety, a place his argumentative brothers could not find. A sweet silence filled the simple room. After a few moments, the master fixed his luminous eyes on the small group and concluded, "Those who overanalyze without a spirit of service may easily fall into the abuse of words, but no one will regret having taught well and worked with their own hands in the name of the Heavenly Father along the blessed path of life."